live. All right, here we go, everybody. We got the Thor Hall of Famer coming in hot, Mr. Rich. He's going to talk all things Buff and Shine. So if you get all your questions ready for him as we talk to him, we'll start answering questions, that kind of deal. So let's go ahead and get him rolling. He's got the new Special Agent Orange EdgeGuards. EdgeGuards just hit the store lately. And, we got the greatest of all time, the Eurofiber pad, regarded by many detailers out there as the greatest pad of all time. So it's on the store too. So hot. There you go. Just check it out. Look at that. Look at the Buff and Shine line up there. It's styling, it's profiling, comes in fantastic packaging. We got 2-packs available. So all these are 2-packs if you want to load up on the pads. And there's a couple in between orange and black here, but the orange, I feel like
just get the orange.
Really takes care of everything between blueberry and black. So
that orange pad is insanity. Look, I've tested against the other orange pad, the Angel orange pad. He did God's work on that pad. I used it in a video on a destroyed car live.
Yep.
Talking about this is the kind of video you would take rotary to it, come in, finish it, etc. Nah, bro. One hitter quitter.
There you go. We got some good reviews of EdgeGuard coming in. It save a lot of people a lot of money sometimes having that safety net of the EdgeGuard. So let's flip over and talk microfiber, because that WMD is coming in. People are getting it. They're checking it out. One thing we're noticing is this is going to be one that, goes through an extra manufacturing process. It has the dual pile designs, got the Freebird lines to soften up and lighten up the towel. You can go ahead and give this thing a wash, when you first get it. Give it a wash. It's going to have a little break-in process for you, but it's a really nice premium towel. And I'm going to make a comparison once the Diva comes back in stock with the goats.
Well, I do want to bring this up.
Why you use each drying towel? What you bringing up?
So I sent a video to Korea because people were talking about, it's smearing. It's a different dry rate, dude. You got microfiber plush and you got twist loop. In the videos that Korea, maybe we released these during that Korean chat that we have with our towel manufacturer. Mm-hmm. He took pans, he took this, and they dried the same. So you have your expectation, if you're doing the flop pull, you'll see they call it smearing, but it's not. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing, but just use it as a towel, you'll be fine.
Riley did some good reviews of it. Takes a little soak up. So the Freebird, of course, the stripes aren't going to be as absorbent because it's just made to be plush, make the towel overall just kind of the safest, lightest towel.
Well, but can I share this video or not?
What's that? What's your video?
Well, it's just Korea breaking knowledge to us. I'll wait. I just want everyone to know because we're getting people like it smears. I'm like,
it's a different kind of towel. Yeah, I'll show you how to use all 3 towels. This one definitely prefers with a drying aid. So it's just a different style of towel. Takes a little second to, I think people are used to the goats, sucking up the world.
Oh yeah, dude, the goat was so sucked the thing.
So obviously the most absorbent towel is still going to be the goat varieties, and then we got the Divas coming in second, who lightens it up a little bit, has the nice suede border, and then we got the WMD, which is going to be our softest, lightest drying towel of the bunch. I'll do a comparison, especially once the Diva gets back in stock, because I can't wait for the Divas to restock. They're coming in a hot new colorway, so we'll check them out shortly, but that's kind of the update on the WMD.
We're just telling you guys that when you dry a car, make sure the car has a little moisture on it. The towel does, and it should be good to go. It's not a smear. It does evaporate. It's kind of like I don't know how to explain it. I'll show you this video, and he's like, "What? That's drying." So,
other than that, we still got the Clean by Pan sale on V1 as V2 starting to roll in. Sealant is V2 sealant's available now. Kapow! Go check it out. All that good stuff. All right, I think that's all the Thor updates we got. What you think?
What else you got? Oh, do that later.
Yeah, that's a towel. Is going to pair up with all the nice detailers, drying aid / products.
No, I got a whole. I just want everybody to where you remember you're blending 2 fibers together, right? So one's going to dry faster rate than the other. It's not smearing. If it hazes and flashes away, it's not a smear. It's just education.
Just a slower flash time.
All right.
Check it out. Buff and Shine. Let's bring him on.
Dude, we forgot this. Yeah, let's talk about Classy Glasses.
Lightning's back in stock. That's right. That's the detail code.
Classy Glasses back in stock. Lightning's back in stock. All the coatings are back in stock. Everything should be in the new labels coming out. So, uh, yeah.
And this will have a new label. Need to update the whatchamadoodle, the mock-up. Let me tell him that now. Alrighty, everybody. Well, there you go. That's kind of what's popping this week. Along with Buff and Shine is here to answer your questions. Speaking of Buff and Shine, here's the man himself, Rich Umbrell. How's it going, Rich?
How you guys doing?
Doing
Great to
good,
see you guys.
good. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you for taking time to get on with us over here. I know you're always busy. We were talking before the chat. You can hear the manufacturing process start, warming up in the background. So if you hear any noise, he's in a real live facility over there. Rich, where's Buff and Shine located, and how long have you been doing things?
So we're in Rancho Dominguez, California, which is in Southern California. That's where I started the company like 37 years ago. So we've been here. We've been in California forever, which is really a tough state to manufacture in, but we're hanging on and we're very efficient. So we make it work.
That's right. That's right. So brand new to the Buff and Shine lineup as of SEMA. Got this Agent Orange pad, which still playing off the amazing EdgeGuard technology. How does one start to develop, first of all, the EdgeGuard itself? Like, how did you come up with this idea to make your pads kind of stand out and be special?
Well, basically, if you go back in time, rotary pads were, wool and foam. They always had edge protection from the backing plate hitting the car. And with all of the orbital coming onto the market, all of the pads are flat back. So it's much easier to manufacture flat back. So for the manufacturing side, it's cheaper to do, but it doesn't give the detailer any benefits. And I've always been into trying to build benefits for the detailer so that they can do their job better and faster, easier, less, with less trouble. So there's no way to center the flat back pads, foam pads for orbital. So you can't center them. I see a lot of videos with guys buffing and the backing plates hanging a 1/4 inch off the edge of the backing of the pad. Yeah. Or, they just don't, if you have employees buffing in the shop, they may not care to center the pad right. And, the owner of the shop's going to pay for that damage. People who want to do their cars at home, that aren't like seasoned detailers, they might be scared with a flat back because that backing plate can hit their car. Cars are expensive now. And, if you scratch a car and you have to repaint it, that gets real expensive. So we were just looking for a way to bring to make our products better and come up with something that was unique, that actually gave you real benefits. And, beyond the centering of the backing plate in there, you're getting, we call it EdgeGuard because you're protecting the backing plate from hitting the car. But you're also, if you have a flat back pad and you run it for a while, you'll notice the backing plate will start to make an indent in the pad. So you'll get like a wear line in the back of your pad. So as your pad's life goes on, it's like an elephant stepped on it and put an imprint in it. So when you have the EdgeGuard, your backing plate is on that plastic ring and it's keeping it from digging into the foam. So the pad lasts longer. Another hidden benefit of this pad is, when you talk to detailers and you ask them, where does your pad fail first? A lot of them will say, well, I peel it off the backing plate and it starts to rip under the Velcro edge of the pad, like the first 1/4 inch underneath the Velcro. Yep. So when you pull this pad off, you pull from the cup of the shell. You don't pull on the foam. You never pull on the foam to get the pad off. So you don't create that rip in the foam. Because when the machine is running, the backing plate and is connected to the Velcro on the pad, and it's pulling on the foam right under the Velcro. So there's a lot of stress there because the face of the pad's dragging on the paint, the backing plate's digging and going left and right. And so you create a lot of stress in that first 1/4 inch of the pad under the Velcro. So having that shell there, you're protecting that area. When you peel it off, you don't rip your pad. The other thing is the ring is only at the perimeter of the pad, so it's not across the center of the pad. So the center of the pad breathes. So there, where the the invention is with this is there's nothing in the center. It's basically the same as a flat pad in the center. So you get cooling, basically. You're not blocking the sills.
Getting the edges to flip over the machine, right? So you get
Let's crack this bad boy open.
Right.
Let's see what he's talking about here.
yeah.
Oh, beautiful packaging, by the way. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, so the plastic ring only covers up the very edge there.
Right.
Making that part breathable.
So yeah, so the whole center
Very
is just
cool.
like a regular flat pad. So we were just looking for a way to make a better product for detailers. We've always been that way. We've had a number of patents over the years on products. So this product here has multiple patents pending and should be issuing soon. So we put a lot of time into that. It took me about 2 years to develop the product and the machinery to make it, because there is no machine to make an EdgeGuard pad. So it's quite a task, but I'm proud of the product. It's doing really well for us. It's solved a lot of problems that the detailers have. So it's cool. But
Yeah.
Agent Orange is like the top dog though of the line.
Mm-hmm.
That one, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but that foam has all of the things that you want in a foam pad. It has the highest elongation, which is the stretch. So foam has specs on a lot of different things: the cell size, the firmness, how much it stretches before it rips. So that foam out of the EdgeGuard line has the most elongation, so you can pull it as far as you can of any foam before it will tear. So that's great, because when you bump into something,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you're going to tear your foam. Also, all foams will oxidize from the oxygen in the air as they sit out. So you take it out of the bag, set it on the counter, use it, wash it. It's like rusting basically, or oxidizing, but you can't really see it. So this foam resists that longer than all of the other foams in the line. So that means that it's going to last you longer. The cell structure also cleans out better than any of the other pads in the line. So when you get it full of compound and you want to clean it, and you put it in water and squeeze it out, or run it in a pad washer, it will clean out better. And so that's more life for you. That's less contamination coming out of the pad on the next detail job that you do. So that foam's it's a great polishing pad, which is like the meat of the foam pad lines, I guess. Most people are using them for that polishing, like maybe a one-step pad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of in the middle. It's a good addition to the foam pad line. It's done really well for us, and we came up with the name Agent Orange because if whether you're a mechanic or a detailer, you're always looking for that tool, right? That's going to help you, and it's basically your special Agent Orange that's going to save the day for you. So.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions like when you released this, when you had an orange foam in the line, it wasn't in the EdgeGuard. So this is definitely not that same orange foam.
No, it's not.
It's a brand new foam, more elastic, more durable, easier to clean.
That's right. Yeah, that other orange is not as good as this one. This is an improvement, which is something we always do. We're always looking to improve.
Dude, that orange pad, Agent Orange pad, if y'all have been watching live, is a pad we use to do all these compound testing on how much a pad can really do with the right compound. And on that black paint, that was Rich. It was like my body with the shirt off, gross. The paint was like messed up, oxidized, and those two pads with the combo really did God's work. So it's a great pad. Agent Orange is one of my favorite pads. That, and we talked about in the back, we need Purple Rain.
Right. Yeah. We'll work on that. We'll make that happen.
Yeah. Why is there no wool pads or Eurofiber pads in the EdgeGuard? Is that something you're working on, or is that impossible?
It's not impossible. I would just say it's probably coming to a store near you soon.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Works. So yeah, I mean it's a wool, and microfibers are a different animal compared to foam, because the product, like, we don't want to just put a product out. We want to make sure that it works well and that it performs well. So there's different needs in those pads than there are in the foam pads. So the before we put it out, we want to make sure that we do a lot of testing and make sure that the durability is there and that the performance is there. and that it's the best option for us to release, because we have a couple different designs in that, and we're going back and forth on that. But yes, that is definitely coming out.
Nice. So making people look at the EdgeGuard, and the price is a little higher, but like you said, when you invest in the EdgeGuard, you get more durability. So the pad's going to last probably 2-3 times longer.
Yeah, if your regular pads are ripping under the Velcro, then you're not able to use them anymore. So that's where you're going to gain the savings on these in the long run. Sure.
Boom. So what is the wash process to clean? What is the Buff and Shine kind of recommended?
Well, so you can put them in the washing machine. They'll fully wash in the washing machine. If you do that, you can run them through a pad washer. On the fly, you can blow them out with air. You can also soak them in water. I see a lot of guys soak them. They use them. They soak them in a bucket, and then
that's what I do.
Bring it out and then clean it out with water. Clean water afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it is washable. So there's lots of different ways to do it, and that's where it gets into durability of product and how much testing we will do to make sure, because I know the detailer is going to want to wash it. So I had to make sure that the adhesive holds and that all the materials are suitable for washing. So yes, that's fully washable.
Yeah, I like to take a bucket of rinseless, throw it in the bucket of rinseless, and then I just push all the rinseless out of the pad, and that pushes all the compound, and then put it on the polisher, spin it dry. What's the Mr. Cologne way of washing your EdgeGuard?
I wait for like 5 months.
He piles them up.
I'm not joking. You guys think I'm lying? Look, Rich,
I know the dirty pad drawer.
Look, the problem with me is I used to pay my daughter, right? When they were young and dumb, not that they were dumb, but they were young and they thought $1 or 50 cents a pad washing was nuts. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm making so much money. The older they got and they realized that it took their time and they couldn't buy a lipstick afterwards, things changed. So now I'm caught having to clean my own pads.
You lost your pad washers.
So I got my pad washers are gone. I had to bring back the little, I hate pad washing. I hate it. So what I do is I wait until I can no longer wait. And then I'll put them in a bucket of like APC or rinseless, take them out, blow them out.
Right.
And let it ride.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That works.
Nice.
I was putting in my washer and dryer, and Bev got pissed. She's like, don't put that in my. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Maybe I shouldn't. Because I was like, oh, I just take them, throw them in, put the little Renaissance. She looked at me. She's like, never do that again. I was like,
all right.
Yeah, there's always buffing pads at our house in the washer that my wife finds, because I'm always testing adhesives, and so so I know it. But they're not usually full of compound. That'd be a bigger problem.
Oh yeah, they're full of compound. Yeah.
Here you go, B. Riley coming in hot. It's a question for Rich. What's the downside of using the EC pad washing technique? What is there a big negative to leaving the compound in there for months at a time?
There's no negative, dude. Compounds that dry substance.
I would say that it's buffing pads end up being like paintbrushes. People don't necessarily clean them all the time like they should. You got to remember that foam it's really a plastic. So like I said, when you open the bag, if the air starts oxidizing it, all these chemicals you're putting on it are degrading the foam. So the longer you leave the foam pad dirty, you're really like taking some life off of how long that thing's going to last you. And if I was a detailer running a business, that's an expense. You need to clean your pads. It's going to save you money. So I would say, you need to clean them within 24 hours of using them, and you don't want the chemical to dry in there. It's the pad's not going to fall apart, but it's going to fall apart sooner. Anybody's foam pad.
Yeah,
I would recommend definitely, cleaning them. Like even if you use them today, throw them in a bucket overnight, come back the next day, take 10 minutes. I know it's a pain. It's not fun. You feel like it's not making you money, but it actually is making you money because you're not buying another pad sooner.
Yeah, to me, you got to have that when you go to polishing the VOE, I have that dedicated rinseless bucket ready to go.
Right.
And pad goes right in it.
It can, I've seen guys that don't clean their pads good and they start buffing another car with a pad they used. And,
that's not good.
Contamination starts coming out of the pad. So you really need to clean them if you want to use them again and not create more problems for
I
yourself.
feel like I'm getting exposed.
Yeah,
to,
you're exposed here. You
exposed.
need to step it up
Hey,
with your
can we
pad
take a-
cleaning.
can
This
we
is
take a second?
bad pad behavior is what this is.
Suck
Yeah.
it,
I'm writing
right?
you a
This
citation.
is called high volume. No shot. All right.
This is
I
called bad pad
I
behavior,
take
everybody.
correct car like every week. Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
Before we move forward here, we have people on. I'm thinking the people want like an EdgeGuard sale, bro, for the next 24 hours. I think we let it ride.
Uh-huh.
I think we do it. I think we let the people get the people what they want, Jamie.
What you want to give them?
I like 20% off.
Okay, you gonna set that up or what?
All right, I'll set it up. I'll set it up. Yeah, we'll do 20% off. EdgeGuard.
All right, well, he'll make you a little coupon code if you want to check out EdgeGuard by the end of this show. We'll get that rolling for you next 24 hours. So if you tune in, that's what the benefits.
I'm gonna put Eddie's pad suck as a code. Eddie's pad wash suck. I'm joking. No, it'll just be automatic.
All right, there you go. Let's get into some questions then. We got some questions. After cleaning, well, storage-wise for EdgeGuard, are you putting them back in the bags, or how are you storing the EdgeGuards after cleaning and drying?
I think just keep them out of the sun is one thing, because or out of UV light, because UV light will decay the foam. You won't see it right away, but it does take a toll on it, kind of like the air does. Once they're completely dry, if you have some way to keep them in any type of airtight container, that would help preserve them longer. Yeah. Definitely like keeping them in a locker is a good idea where they're out of the light, closed up. If you don't have a way to keep them airtight, that's probably the best way, to preserve them. But you don't want them. I don't think you want to leave them in buckets of water for weeks. That's not a good thing. I've seen that in a lot of shops. Oh yeah, we didn't get to that bucket. It's been sitting there for like a month. Lord. And they got 12 pads in there. I mean, that's your money in there. So
yeah, you gotta clean them after you're done. Don't let them soak. Put them in a locker. If you have a way to, even if you have a Ziploc bag, you can put them in after they're completely dry. It's like foam is sort of like, think of it as like bread. You cut open bread and you leave the bag open, it goes stale. So it's just not as quick, but it will dry out over time. So then when it dries out, then you lose all the strength of the foam, the properties, so then you start buffing with it, it'll start tearing. And so that's just pad care, keep them out of the air, keep them out of the light.
We're going to need you to come on to the app to do proper pad care. Just one video, because we can tie it to like a buffing video.
Yeah.
We could come film you on how to take care of because we sell your pads anyway on the app. It's just your pads. We could come come film you. It's proper pad care. I think would be a good addition to like paint correcting class. Like, how do you take care of pads afterwards? And that way I know how to do it, because right now I'm turning and burning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Leave it. If it's gunky, I'll grab another one. If it's gunky, I'll grab another one. And I look at it and I'm like, I'm done. I'm getting paid for this. I'm out. So I'm gonna start cleaning my stuff.
You're gonna start. Look, no more bad pad behavior, right? Can't have that going on. Exposing Eddie's pad abuse. Yeah, it's straight pad abuse over here. So, look, in 2026, no more bad pad behavior. We're gonna fix this issue with Eddie's having. So, what's the percentage you gave these people off?
I did 20.
Oh my Lord, 20% off. Buff and shine. Next 24 hours.
Yeah, get yourself Agent Orange. I think that's cool about it is that they're all in 2-packs, right? We order all 2-packs.
Yes. All 2-packs at the moment. Someone was asking, do they come in bigger packs? They do. Does EdgeGuard come in larger packs, 4 or 6-pack?
We do have 4-packs. I don't know that you have those in stock.
Not yet.
But
I was going to add them.
You can buy 2. We do have a 4-pack. And we do.
Yep.
And the 2-pack's nice because that way you can, if you buy 2, you can at least use 2 pads on a car where you don't burn up pads. I mean, that's another thing. Like, you could do a video on pad rotation and pad.
We need all that for the app, Rich, so we could have you be the voice. So you're the pad dad. So you're the godfather of pads. So we need you to really, if you could educate us on that, because it's cool. Because a lot of people are starting out new,
right?
Trying to stretch a pad out as far as they can, and they think blowing out is enough. But when you introduce a lot of heat to the backing plate, introduce a lot of heat to the pad, it could delaminate, it could pull apart. And
Right.
we saw that, people starting off sees that early on, or they're putting too much pressure on and the pad's getting overworked and not getting the effective cut. See, I might
Right.
not be able to clean my pads, but I do rotate my pads.
Well, at least you got that right, man.
Yeah,
Get that one down. Yeah, pad rotation is key. I mean, I don't want to go off topic, but it's key because the foam, again, it's just plastic, right? So once you get it to a certain amount of heat, it's not going to perform anymore, and you don't need to get it that hot. And then if you get it too hot, you ruin the foam, and then you can't use it again. And so if you rotate your pads, they're going to last. You're going to end up with, just like cleaning them. If you rotate them, they're going to last longer. So you're going to get more cars. So that's going to save you money.
Good pad behavior, not bad pad behavior, Eddie. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We need to make a shirt. Like Herrick's
you got a bunch of
asking-
questions for Rich.
Yeah, we got a bunch of questions. So you eventually change all the pads the foam Agent Orange is using, or is this foam only, for the Agent Orange?
This is only for the Agent Orange, and it's really that heart of the polishing pad. It's like right in the center of the polishing pads, because foam is there's cutting pad, there's heavy polishing, there's finishing. So you have all these categories within foam, but polishing is the meat of what people do with foam. So we feel like it's like the all-star pad basically for the foam pad line. But when you're creating different foams, there's a lot of things that can and can't be done with the raw materials. So trying to get like all of these characteristics into a cutting foam pad is a challenge. It may be able to be done, but it takes a lot of trial and error. So we've got it right on the polishing pad, which is the meat of the foam pad line. So yeah, we are always trying to improve the pads. So if we come up with a cutting pad that's got all of the characteristics of this orange, as far as like how it handles the heat and how it stretches and doesn't rip and how it cleans out, we would definitely introduce that. But it's something that has to be invented, really. So nice. So we're always trying to improve. So we had an orange and we made it better, and we're running with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, orange pad is touched by God.
Take away the Q&A. I got a client showed up, so I got to give their vehicle back.
All right,
I'll be back.
Next question. We have Corey. What size is the centering ring of the pads? Is there a piece available to put in the backing plate for alignment? That's a good question.
I'm not sure I understand the question all the way. The backing plates, the ring pad or the EdgeGuard pads come in 3-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch. So the backing is set up to handle the standard backing plate size for those machines. So unless you have, there's a couple of machines running around, like Flex has their gear-driven machine that's got a smaller backing plate, and that's kind of an odd machine. That's not a standard, so we don't make one for that size. So I don't know if I answered that right.
I'm going off the question. I think to me it sounded good. Corey, let me know if you have any more to that. Can we make edge guards that go on kids and pets so they don't scratch up cars? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. All right. Any plans on making a straight cut waffle pad?
When you say straight cut, I'm not sure what that means. That means straight down on the edge. We do have a lot of waffle pads, and we do have some that are straight down on the side. So we have, but it depends on what type of machine you're looking for. If you're looking for orbital, we don't have waffle in orbital. It could be made. We make a lot of custom products. We do have waffle in rotary, which is primarily where that product's used. So like 8-inch rotary body shops use a lot of waffle 8-inch where the edges cut straight down. They come in flat back or recessed back, but for orbital we don't have a waffle design at this moment.
If you can put them in a washing machine, would you use regular soap or microfiber wash? And would you do it with your towel or by themselves? Talk about cleaning pads, Rich.
I wouldn't clean pads with towels at all because you're going to just make a mess. You're going to get lint off the towels. Possibly you'll stick onto the foam. I keep them separated. I think you can use soap if you have soap, if you have any type of pad cleaning chemical that you want to put in the machine, you should be fine. I'm not really familiar with the microfiber wash product, but as long as it's a mild soap, you're not gonna damage. You're not gonna cause any trouble. The good one tip though, when you're washing your pads, is if they're full of compound and you just throw them in the washer, all that compound is going to go in your washer. It's going to go in your pipes of wherever your shop is at, and then it's going to harden in your pipes. So basically, you should soak the pads, wring out as much as you can, then throw them in the washer, because the washer is going to have a hard time getting all of that out of the pad. So if you can get some out pre-washing them, basically, and then throwing them in the washer, you have better results.
Love that Thor bought in 2-packs. Would you be trying to would multi-packs be an option at some point? Multi-packs. I'm thinking I think another question came up is, how you had your own Discover series of pads?
Right.
Would you ever do that with your EdgeGuards?
We could. Yeah, it's possible. Right now we're selling them only in singles, doubles, and 4-packs. And then we do have some kits. We have EdgeGuard kits that come with 4 different foam pads. So you get like a cutting pad, a polishing pad, and a finishing pad. So it's like a multi-pack kit. So you could try it. You can try the line.
Steve has a question here.
What's Steve got?
Are there any plans to create other levels of vibration using properties from the new orange pad?
I think that's like what I said is we've right now the technology that we have, the other, like the cutting foam and the finishing foam, are as good as they're going to get. Trying to invent them to be at the level of the orange will take some time, but it's something that we have to work on because there's technical challenges there. But we're always, as a company, like I've been doing this 37 years, and I'm always making the pads better. I'm always modernizing them. So if we can do it, we will do it. I hope that answers that question.
Conway's asking, does blowing out pads with air pressure damage the pads?
I wouldn't say it damages the pads. I mean, if you get, air pressure too close to it, you could maybe, depends on the PSI that you're pumping out.
Just say 100 PSI.
Yeah, I mean, if you get really, really close to the foam and shove it in there, you might tear the foam. If you do it from a distance, one thing you do with air is you are blowing some of that junk back into the foam, so it's you're pushing it deeper in.
Yeah.
But it's already gone into the cells a little bit. So what are you gonna do? If you blow it, it'll go down in. If you wash your pad, you can get it back out in the end. So you really don't want, I would say, blowing at an angle instead of blowing like straight down into the pad would be a better way to try to blow some of the debris off of the pad instead of into the pad. So that would be my advice there. If you have a pad washer and you can do it on the fly, that's always a good way, because you're getting a little bit of water and you can get some water in the pad and then get it out of the pad. It'll pull some of the chemical compounds or whatever you're using out.
So you prefer pad washing
over the blowing?
I'm saying that if you have that option, it's a good option to get the junk out of the pad while you're operating. Like if you're buffing a car and you in the middle of the process, if you're blowing blowing straight into the pad, you're going to blow everything inside of the pad. If you don't have a pad washer, then I would blow it on an angle so that you're not blowing the debris into the pad. You're blowing it off of the pad.
My pads are screwed, Rich.
So here's one that piggybacks that. What about a Tornador tool? Because it, supposedly makes the vortex that sucks instead of kind of blows inward.
Right. A lot of guys use those. I'd say that's better than just an air hose. That's like a notch up. I still believe like if you're cleaning if you use a pad washer and you clean the pad a little bit, you're also cooling the pad down with a little bit of water. So that's going to help, like as you're buffing, because you're heating the foam up. You go clean it a little bit, water gets on it, cools it off. You bring the pad back to a normal room temperature, and then you go back to buffing. As long as you don't get the pad too wet, because you get it too wet, then it starts slinging everywhere, and you don't want that mess. So that's the trade-off. So Tornador is not a bad idea. I mean, it works, but you're still blowing stuff into the pad.
Becca had a question or a
Becca wants a whole
statement.
set. She
3,
wants
5,
5, and 3 in one package. What you think about that?
I mean, we're not doing that now. We have so many kits. I mean, it would just be another SKU probably, but you can buy them individually and get the same thing.
I think this is where that other question came up about having the kit for the EdgeGuard, like the reflection artist kit.
Not at this time. No, I mean, we do have kits that are in bags of the EdgeGuard where you get 4 different EdgeGuards, 4 different grades in one bag. It's just it is an EdgeGuard kit. It's not a box that like the reflection artist kit. So it's just, we do have it. It's just not in a box.
Got an idea because Keeve wants an EdgeGuard waffle weave.
Waffle pad.
Waffle pad.
Waffle pads, Rich.
Right. That something like that is possible to make. Just another part number. I'm not sure.
Oh, we could do a Thor.
I'm not sure. I'm not convinced you need waffle for an orbital. It's just a different. Or waffle was really intended for rotary, where you have so much friction because of the spinning. And rotary, when waffle came out, the pads were 8 and 9 inches in diameter, which a lot of detailers don't use at all anymore. So you're creating a lot of friction on that big pad. So when you get into running an orbital, you're running, a lot of guys are running 5-inch. So it's not really going to do much for you.
You know what's crazy? People can't even handle a 5-inch pad. Imagine them doing an 8-inch pad. My Lord.
Let's bring it back.
How many panels before I switch out pads, Rich?
So, how many panels before I switch out? Well, I would say, if you had 4 pads, some guys say 6 pads car. I think 4 pads a car is a good number. So if you cut the pad into 4 pieces, the car into 4 pieces, and you just work those 4 areas with that pad and switch. It's really about how long you run the pad on the panel. So if you have a panel and it's the front quarter of a car and you're running there too long, it doesn't matter. You got to do it by time. So you run it too long, you need to switch the pad anyway. So, simply speaking, 4 pads per car would be good. Doesn't mean you throw those 4 pads away when you're done. You still have 4 really good pads that you just keep them clean and keep going. Take 1 pad and run it on the whole car. You're probably going to throw it away after the job because you've overheated it. You loaded it up with too much compound. You didn't clean it out. So that's my suggestion. But really, if you break it down more, it comes down to how much time you run that pad. So if I ran that pad on the front quarter panel for 20 minutes, I probably need to change it because that's too long. So really need to do it about time.
Especially when you use like products that require you to overwork it to break down the diminishing braces over again.
Right. Those,
like Corey said, he does it every pad. I don't do that, Corey. I'm
look here. Corey's the opposite of bad pad behavior, and opposite of Eddie. So he cleans after every pass, pretty much. So can you clean too much? What you think, Rich?
I don't think you can clean too much.
Yeah, you hear that, Eddie?
No, I don't think you can clean too much. You got to realize that when you're running, you are getting contamination on the front of the pad. So that contamination is not helping you after you get it onto the pad. You need to get it off the pad. So clean pad is always the best. So, if you have the patience and the time to do that, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing at all.
Yeah. Conway has some excellent pad behavior because he washes his, lets them air dry, and then puts them back in vacuum seal bags out of light. So what you think about that? Pad behavior?
He's completely opposite of Eddie.
he's on there's the Conway and then there's the Eddie side. So
right.
he left.
Eddie left.
Rick, can we state the obvious here? Out of me, Jamie, and I, who's cutting paint. I am. Because he was cutting paint at the magnitude I was cutting paint as a 1-star Lone Ranger. He would do the same crap. I ain't clean those pads today. Like if you have a car back to back, like I'll tell you, I had 4 cars back to back last week.
Yeah.
I had 4 trucks back. You think I feel like cleaning a pad after I was 8 hours on the car? No. F that.
Yeah.
F that.
Well, let me pack bad behavior. I mean,
Yeah, all right,
it's what it is.
I already committed to using firmer for the year.
Look, maybe stretch out the schedule a little bit. Give you a pad washing day in between the cars. You know what I mean?
I lived that broke life. All right, how long to the pads? I don't know why I overbook myself. I don't know why I do it. But it's like when you're like, hey, I need a paint correction and ceramic coat. I'm like, all right, cool.
I'll be there filming with Eddie, full schedule booked, and someone will call and bring it on in, and we'll have to stay up all night and do a full.
Jamie says to me, Rich, this is the kind of partner I got. He says to me, I want it all. When you tell someone like me, you want it all, Rich, what does that mean? You want all of it. And then it'll be the last night of filming, and he's like, bring in the dumpster fire interior detail. We want it all. And then he'll look at the girls. He'll be like, hey, I'll pay you if you do this. And he actually pays the girls out of his own pocket so he doesn't have to touch it.
It happens. How long do the pads last, not used, but sitting out of the packaging? Does that affect anything?
So it's not like, a week or two is going to hurt them. But if you leave them out for 6 months in the corner, I mean, the foam oxidizes. So it's like I said, it's like bread. You open the loaf of bread, you cut some bread. If you don't close the bag, it starts going stale. So you can't really see that. When would you see it? It takes about 6 months really for you to start seeing that, but it doesn't last forever. So foam, like when we get foam, it comes in giant blocks from the mills that make it, and it's in bags. So we store it in these giant bags that are like a block of foam is 8 feet long, 4 feet wide, and like 2 feet tall. So it's in a giant black plastic bag. So that keeps the light off of it when it's in our inventory, and it keeps it fresh so that the air can't get to it. So when we make pads, we open it up, cut out the pads, put it back in the bags, and the bags are sealed and they're airtight, so that when it goes from us to a distributor, it's it's protected from the light. And our new packaging has not much window on it anymore because we were trying to keep the light off of it so that if it sits in a distributor's warehouse for a while, it stays fresh. So I would say like if
pads were treated like bread.
Yeah, I think if you have any pads that are like sitting on the shelves, if you put them in bags that are sealed, if you're not using them, that's a good thing to do. It'll preserve them. So I mean, foam. The weird thing too that kills foam is forklift exhaust. So really? Like in our factory, we only run electric forklifts, and that's because the exhaust from the forklifts, like propane, will deteriorate foam. So if we have them running around the warehouse, it'll eat up the foam. So not a lot of detailers will have forklifts, but anyway, it's just things that we learn over the years on how to keep the foam fresh.
That is interesting. You hear that, Eddie? You got to keep that bread sealed up. Like he gets a new pad, he opens it, and then he puts it in the new pad drawer.
Hey, time out. I want to say this very clear. There's no light hitting. He said that.
There is no light hitting. You're correct. They are sealed up in the cabinet.
Like, don't drive a car inside. My car's electric. So the only
true.
Right? So from everything he just said and from what I'm saying, you can suck it. Look, Rich,
I agree.
Rich, let's talk about this because he's always trying to throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
I do want to say I do have a pad cleaning problem, and I intend to take care of that as the year goes on. So if I have a pad and I clean it, so here's what I've been seeing, and let me get your thoughts on this based off of this question here. I have a pad, I put it in rinseless, I take it out, I dry on the pad washer, everyone knows, and it's still dust. What's the problem?
It's still dust?
Mm-hmm.
Then you still got something in it.
But what if I already blew it out? I already put it in rinseless?
It's still got something. I mean, if it's dusting, it's still got something in it.
It's ass. So what do I do with my pads? Because that's not your pad. This is another pad I was using. I would put it inside of a pad washer. I mean, rinseless. I leave it there for 2 days, just in case it gets all the month off of stuff. The pad is like milky. The water's milky. I throw it out, go back in, and I blow it, and then I put on a pad washer, get the rest of the dust off.
Right.
Let it dry. I go put it on the paint.
Poof.
All over.
Well, it might come down to the chemical you're using that's not able to clean out of the pad. So you might need to kind of monitor what you're putting in the pad and then clean it and see if you get that problem and try to isolate which chemical is doing that for you. because
Oh,
it's
can't
definitely
talk
not the pad. It's more the chemicals not releasing when you're cleaning it, or maybe whatever you're cleaning with isn't getting the chemical out. So it's still in there, even though you think I've dunked it in water and I'm washing it. It's just not cleaning good enough.
So what you're saying is,
Goes back to bad,
all right,
bad pad
next
behavior.
question,
You know
next
what I mean?
question.
You know,
So,
it's the trend we're
do you
learning
clean
on
them
the
and bag
show, you
them
know?
after use? I think he answered that, right? He answered that.
Yeah. Clean them, bag them, tag them.
You don't have to clean them and bag them. You could clean them and hide them in a non-UV area.
Clean them,
That's
bag them,
dust
tag.
free.
If you want best pad
No,
behavior,
he heard what he said. You clean them, put them inside of a container that is non-dust free. So cabinets are good as long as they're clean and it doesn't have light or any type of
like a bread box, except it's a pad.
whatever.
Yeah.
Do I need to be more careful with the LC pad washer on? I can't say that. Let's just say pad washer on the orange, like not pushing as hard over the ridges.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think you'd be fine. I think it would work fine on their washer. No problem.
Best way to clean the Oreo pad, just don't use it.
That's a good question.
Don't use it. I'm kidding, Rich.
That one you're gonna have you should have pretty good luck with the Tornador or with air.
Yeah.
Because the contamination is not going to get into the foam. It shouldn't get too far into the foam. That pad is fully washable. Like you can throw it in a washing machine. You can soak it in water. The adhesives that we use on that are heat resistant, so they can take even hot water. If you clean it in hot water, I would say on the fly while you're buffing, Tornador and air is a great way to do it. If it gets really cakey, you might have to use a brush, but microfiber is one of those things that if you don't clean it, you're going to have a lot of problems, and you got to clean it a lot because it's the short nap on microfiber makes it load up quickly, but when it's clean, it cuts really, really well. So you just got to know how to use it, and you'll have a
so Corey, basically what
success.
he's saying is do not overcomplicate it, blow it out. But knowing Corey, he's got a Tornador air sucking tool tied to it. Then he's gonna run it through water again, blow it out again. Then he's gonna hand dry heat under a blower. Then he's gonna stuff in the bag. Corey, suck it too. Okay, you're part of the problem, Corey.
Look, Conway coming in with some tips for Eddie. I think your issue is you're blowing them out, driving the contamination further into the pads, and then you don't wash them for a month. So I think all the solvents, are exiting the compound. So now you're left
pad washer in the
works, abrasive,
and
the dust. I think there's a trend going on this podcast.
Are you saying I gotta throw all in my pads and start over?
Nah, you
got Thor. That was like $1,000 investment over that just for pads.
We'll see. All right, Rich, any pad washer solutions from Buff and Shine in the works?
Not at this time. No.
Not at the time.
Not at the time. No.
What's the most sold EdgeGuard? I think he said orange, right?
Orange is gaining popularity right now for us. It's there's a lot of interest in it. It performs well, so pretty much everybody that's tried it likes it, and it's been a success. The best-selling foam color for us is between maroon and blueberry. Those are the two, like, been our two core products for years. So that's why they have a lot more sales. But the orange is coming up. So the orange is going to be right up there with those two, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and then I think it's got, such a long life, it's going to probably surpass that. Plus the polishing area is the most popular with foam.
Boom.
If you use a pad washer, does the dampness of the water on the pad affect pad life or cut the life or finish of the pad?
Does it affect pad cut or finish?
I wouldn't, when you take the pad out of the bag and like I told you, the air gets to it, water gets to it, these things get to it, they do take away pad life, but they have to get wet. They have to get compound on. They're not going to last forever. So I don't think it's water's bad for the pad. I think if you don't get all of the chemicals out of your pad after you use it, like Eddie, you're going to ruin the pads. That's really it when it sits in there and it's just rotting inside the middle of the pad.
That's just
all my pads are cooked, Rich. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now that I'm sitting here depressed,
burnt.
I'm going to have to replace all my pads. They're cooked.
They are.
No, I'm not joking, Rich. Look
I'm
at
not
this.
kidding either.
This is an intervention. You know when you wake up as a drug addict and you get
Yep.
people inside of your house and your wife is crying, but you're not really married to her, but you call her your wife, and then you have kids and they cry and they're like, "Daddy, don't leave again." And then all of a sudden you're sitting in a room.
You needed this.
This was my intervention. I'm sitting here thinking right now, every single pad I have is damaged because every pad, no matter how much I clean it, dust.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to go through my cabinet and throw everything away.
Yeah, you screwed.
I mean, if you clean them as you're going, you're not going to probably build up as much in the pad. So when you're done with the job, you don't clean it. If you clean it a little bit while you're working, you're going to have a cleaner pad that's going to be easier to clean in the end instead of letting it just load up too much. And then trying to clean it all at once at the end is probably going to be more trouble. Maybe that's the problem. With the pad being wet, part of that question was, does it affect the finish of the pad? I mean, you don't want to be buffing with a soaking wet pad. I mean, that's just going to spray crap everywhere and make a mess for you. I don't think the pad being a little bit damp is going to cause you a lot of problems. But there's so many different situations, and as you guys know, in polishing, that the paints are different, the chemicals you're using are different, the pad you're using is different. It's a combination of things that create a great finish. So. And then the cars are always different. So then that's another factor that you got to, put in there. So, I mean, you just don't want the pad to be super wet when you're buffing. A little bit of water's probably not going to kill you. It's probably going to keep your pad cool and lubricate a little bit for you so you're not buffing dry.
Disgusted with myself, Rich. I let myself go physically. I let my shop go. It's been years of waking up.
This is the 2026. We're
2026,
right.
Like, you can't see your feet. You can't clean your pads. Your ass.
Panel by panel. He wants to know if you can do one pad per car if you're washing the pad pretty regularly.
I would say no. I would say that you need to let the pad rest a little bit because you're taxing the foam pad. It starts warming up. I mean, yeah, we put it in the pad washer, it's going to cool it down a little bit. But I think rotating the pads is a good habit because the detailers are thinking, well, I got to buy 4 pads. But if you buy those 4 pads and you rotate them and you clean them, when you're done, you're going to have 4 pads. If you buy 1 pad and you do that car and you don't clean it good, and then you don't rotate the pad, by the time you're done with that car, that pad might be shot.
Busted. Yep.
So you just got to decide as a business owner, do I want to throw a pad away with every car, or do I want to have 4 good pads when I'm done? I just got to do a little maintenance and have a good routine. And then I have 4 good pads that I can do, another car. So in the long run, 4 pads per car, you're not going to use as many pads, by the end of the year for sure. Unless if you take 100%. Care of them, it's definitely the way to go.
B. Riley, it seems like manufacturers make rotary specific pads. Are the EdgeGuards good for DA and rotary?
So the EdgeGuards are designed for orbital or DA, whatever you want to call it. They're not really designed for rotary, and so the foams are different. So with foam selection on orbital, you need stronger foam because the action of the machine is different. So the rotary is just spinning. The orbital is moving, back and forth and swirling around. So that causes different stress on the foam. So rotary foams, if you put them into the orbital machines, they don't perform very well. And so the orbital foams now they're on steroids. Basically, they're stronger, they're firmer, they're made to handle different kinds of action of the machine and the heat and the pressure. So I wouldn't say they'd be good to switch back and forth. I wouldn't recommend that.
Guardian, does Rich wear cologne? If he does, welcome to the inner circle.
No, I think Rich is like a Ventus guy.
Hey, that's not a buffing question.
Yep. B. Riley, if you're cooling with pad washer, is there a benefit to using 4 pads? Yes, Rich already explained that. All right, next question. Do you guys prefer flat pads over waffle pads in general?
Is that question for me or you?
I don't know. I like both.
I think everybody.
There's a time and place for everything.
I think for orbital, flat pads are what you need. if again we talked about rotary and why there's wire waffle pads there, they were invented for rotary because of friction, and mainly the friction that you get with a rotary, when it was an 8-inch pad, generally was in the finishing pads because the cell sizes were smaller, so the pad would stick to the paint and bounce. So it could you use it on an orbital? Yeah. Would you see a big difference in the finish? I don't think so. It just looks cool.
Yep. Boom. Did you already answer this? Where does the new orange pad fit in? So where does Agent Orange fit in?
So it's a polishing pad. So it's right about where the yellow is in the line. So it's we have black as your final finishing. So it's the polishing pad right below that. So it starts out with, maroon is the cutting pad, blueberry is the heavy polish, one-step pad really, and then we have yellow, which is our polishing pad in the EdgeGuard. But the orange is basically like next to the yellow, like they're basically competitors. So it's just stronger foam, more elasticity in the foam, cleans out better. So it's like it's an upgrade.
Boom. Steve coming in hot. What are the visual cues that a pad is starting to oxidize or degrade?
When you feel the pad, this might not be. We touch foam every day, so it might be hard for you to tell, but it starts to have a dry feel to it.
Yeah.
When you rub the surface of the foam, sometimes the foam will start to fade the color. So like the blueberry pad is a rich blue. The color starts to fade a little bit. That's a little bit of sign of oxidation. Usually white pads have a tendency to turn yellow. So you'll see a little bit of yellow, like all foam from all companies will oxidize. So that yellowing that you see on the white foam is actually happening on all the colors. You just can't see it. So it's in that oxidation, it's not like this is going to happen in 2 weeks. It takes time. But if you have pads in your locker that are there for 6 months, you might start to see trouble with them if you leave them out and you don't keep them in bags.
Boom. Wash them, bag them, tag them. Steve coming in again. Have there ever been polishes that have caused pads to deteriorate more quickly? Are there key ingredients in polishes you should avoid? Good question.
A lot of this stuff is less, let's say, hazardous these days with everything going water-based, and it's not. I haven't seen it tear up foam like 20 years ago. Things were different, had much harsher chemicals in them. So I haven't seen it myself. I don't know of every polish on the planet, but I would say no. I'd say I haven't seen that.
Boom. David, should you use a pad washer with microfiber or wool pads, or avoid?
Wool pads will get really heavy because the wool will absorb all the water. So it's going to be more difficult to clean a wool pad that way because it's hard to get the water out. Once you get it in, it's got to just dry. I mean, you can spin it out, but it's going to get real heavy on you. Microfiber is a synthetic fiber, so it doesn't absorb as much. I mean, it like microfiber towels absorb, but the pad is so thin that you're not going to get a lot of weight. Usually wool pads, the pile is half an inch long. So wool's going to soak up a lot of water. Might be better to blow out a wool pad because you can actually get the garbage out of it. The microfiber, again, we talked about blowing it out, which is a good way. But I would say if you hit a pad washer with microfiber, it's going to help you clean stuff out because microfiber is going to hold on to a lot of things. So, pad washer is not a bad way to go.
Yep. Yeah, I don't get the wool pads wet ever. I just blow them out.
They'll weigh 10 pounds, then they get bloated.
Yeah, microfiber, I'll blow out. I will wash, but then I'll blow out, wring out again, make sure it's completely dry pretty much before using it again. This is a good question. Steve, again. So polishes that are like all-in-ones with sealants and this and that, does that affect long-term pad performance?
Not anything that I've heard a lot of complaints about as a manufacturer. I mean, distributors and detailers will tell you their problems, and it's not something that I've heard a lot of comments on. So I mean, you as a detailer can probably tell me the answer to that one, because I haven't seen it as a manufacturer. It's not been you hear what's a problem from people. I haven't heard that one.
If I use something with a wax or primer polish, I just make sure I clean it out immediately.
Yeah,
keep it moving. Let's ask the guy who puts them in the cabinet. Hey, you use when you use the sealant polish, what you doing with that pad, big guy?
It goes on the pile, dog. What do you think I'm gonna sit here and lie to you? I just go. I don't give a crap.
That's funny. All right, Conway, what's the cut and finish of orange versus blueberry?
So blueberry is more aggressive. That blueberry is like a heavy polish, so the orange is more of just polish, like the heart of the line, the polishing pad. So they're two different ones. So
nice. Let's see, Conway again. What would you say is your best wool pad in Buff and Shine line? I'd say period. What you think, Rich?
Well, we have a white 1/2-inch pile. It's got the blueberry foam interface with Velcro backing, and that pad is what I would say the best for orbital pad cutting. The pile's 1/2-inch long, which there's some that are 1/4 inch long. They load up faster. If you go to 3/4 inch long, which is like a standard length of wool pile, the pad will be too heavy for the orbitals and they'll shake. So 1/2-inch is better than 1/4 inch because it gives you a little bit more meat to work with on the pad instead of loading up really quick. Then it's got the blueberry foam interface, which is a firmer foam. And once the pad warms up, the pad will start getting more flexible. So when you turn it on for initially, it's a little bit firm, but as you start buffing, with the cutting step, it's a little bit more of an aggressive action. So the foam will get a little bit warmer. So if you use a foam that's a little bit too soft in the beginning, as they warm it up, it gets too flexible. So we're kind of starting out with a firm foam, anticipating that it's going to get warmed up, which, if you're going to cut a car, you're going to warm it up. So that's the best one in our line. And it's got a nice heavy pile. So it's got a nice density because in order to get the pad to cut, you don't want the pile to lay down. You want the pile to stand up. So having a 1/2-inch length is a good length. If you pack it tight enough, it won't fall over and get flattened out on you too fast. Mm-hmm. So that's the best one we have. It's just in our Euro wool line.
100%.
Did you get Bobby's question answered?
Bobby's question.
I think he did answer this.
Here it is. Yeah.
Waffle.
Bobby likes waffle pads.
He wants to know if Bobby, with the placebo effect of it keeping the pad cooler, is that a real thing?
It is a real thing, but as soon as you press down, the waffles are gone. So you're back to a flat pad. When you're, like I said, the real benefit of the waffle was for big rotary pads, and big rotary pads, when you get into the final finishing pads like the black, they had a tendency to heat up fast on a rotary. So having those bumps, lets a little bit of air get in there and keep the pad, cooler. But when you're running an orbital and you put any pressure, those bumps are gone pretty much.
All right, everyone. Last two questions, because then Rich has to go run an Empire.
Yeah. Rich got to get back to work. Look here, the one pad per car rule. Are you specifically with your pads? Or are you thinking all foam pads in general applies to that?
No, all foam pads is all foam pads. Whoever the manufacturer is, doesn't matter. You definitely shouldn't use one pad per car. You need to have minimum. I would say minimum 4 would be a good number. And if you're planning on detailing cars for a living, I mean, to buy 4 pads is a good investment, opposed to buying one, like I said, because one's going to last you one car, and those 4 would go on to do more cars. Yep. So if you keep score, Eddie, you need a scoreboard where you can add up how many pads you get out of that rotation. I mean, if a detailer did that, I think you'd be surprised. It'd be quite a few pads that they would not have to buy.
I change pads out every 3 months, 4 months.
Hmm.
But I always budget my shop costs with like equipment costs.
Okay.
So I do know that I could probably save money by cleaning my pads every month.
Hmm.
Then I take my time divided by how many hours it'll take me to clean all these pads, and I realize by the time I do that, it's more than my shop rate. So I'll just buy a pad.
Yeah.
However you got to do it. Hey, Cali Detail Co., which serves as better as a one-step pad, blueberry or orange or both? Definitely both.
They both can go there. The blueberry's gonna be more aggressive. So if you have more defects, the blueberry can take those out. The orange still is more of a polishing pad, but like I said, of the whole foam pad series, it seems like polishing is the most that the biggest application of all of it. So that's why we wanted to hit with like, you know, a home run there on that pad to take out the meat of the polishing market. So, but yeah, blueberry is definitely a little bit more aggressive. It can be a one step. So can the orange, but it's not going to be as aggressive.
Yeah,
I think
as
as well. Well, also too, like we're living in a day and age where we're not really cutting paint with two steps. Paint's so soft.
Right.
You're still need. There's not. It's never going to go away. I'm just saying in general. I always use one pad and I can get close to 75 to 80%. Technique, pressure, cutting, etc.
Yep. Test spots. That's why it's good to have both the blueberry and the orange. Do you test spots? See which one is working better that day with your compound of choice, and go from there. All right, Rich, we did it.
Hey, Rich, I just want to thank you for exposing me. It meant a lot. I do know I have pad habits. I just appreciate
2026, the year of bad behavior is going to go away, and it's the year of special agent oil. So if you haven't checked it out, that's 20% off Buff and Shine the next 24 hours. Who knows if it goes well? Maybe we keep it rolling. We'll see. So check out some Buff and Shine. Upgrade your pads. Don't have bad pad behavior like this.
Talking to you, Eddie.
All on Eddie.
Rich,
we're gonna step it up this year.
I have to redo all my pads.
Wash
Thank
them,
you, guys.
Tag them. All right, Rich, you got anything on the way out for the people?
Oh no, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate everything, and it's pretty educational today. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for teaching us, Rich. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we'll have you on again in the future. Appreciate you, sir.
All right, take care.
Later, everybody.